Though Major League Baseball hasn't had as many bad boy athletes compared to the NFL, but donning a cap for your career still doesn't mean you act as a saint. No sports stars in North America make the money that MLB stars do, but even all the money in the world doesn't give all of them luxurious lives. Many have abused their fame and fortune and left their lives in shambles. I'm Andy Ruther, and here are 10 former MLB players whose lives went entirely downhill once they retired. At number 10, Chuck Knobloch. This former New York Yankees standout was a 4-time World Series champion, winning 3 with the Pinstripes and 1 with the Minnesota Twins earlier in his career. Knobloch was a 4-time All-Star, 1997 Gold Glove winner, and batted a respectable .289 in his career. Sadly, things went downhill once he decided to hang up the cleats. In 2009, he was charged for choking and hitting his wife, and he pled guilty to the assault. In 2014, he was charged with assaulting another one of his wives. Because of this, the Minnesota Twins backed out of their plans to induct him into the team's Hall of Fame. At number 9, Pete Rose. Major League Baseball's all-time hit king with 4,256 hits may go down as the best athlete to never reach baseball's Hall of Fame. Rose revolutionized the game, making 17 All-Star appearances, winning 3 World Series titles, and also an NL MVP. Sadly, Rose broke one of the cardinal sins of being a loyal ball player. He was caught gambling on games and was banned from baseball for life. And if you haven't heard of that, leave your cave already. Though he's tried to fight the ban and make it to Cooperstown, he struck out in his attempt. In 1990, Rose spent 5 months in prison for filing false income tax returns. What a shame. At number 8, Dwight Gooden. The NL Cy Young winner was one of baseball's most decorated pitchers ever, winning a trio of World Series titles during his 16-year career. Gooden retired in 2001 and sadly went into a huge slump of bad behavior. In 2002, he was arrested for drunk driving with a suspended license. He was once again arrested in 2003 for driving with a suspended license. He was arrested in 2005 for hitting his girlfriend. In 2005, he turned himself in for drunk driving again. In 2006, he went to prison for heavy cocaine use. And in 2010, he was arrested for leaving a traffic accident scene and endangering a child who he left behind at the accident. At number 7, Jose Canseco. 462 career home runs and 2 World Series titles are overshadowed by the fact that Canseco was a heavy user of steroids. Canseco was arrested numerous times during his career. Here's what happened since he's retired. 2-year house arrest for missing a court appearance regarding custody of his child. Arrested and sentenced to a month in prison for violating probation by taking steroids. Lost his California home after losing money from 2 divorces. 12 months probation for trying to bring a drug from Mexico into San Diego. And on Twitter, he's tried provoking Shaquille O'Neal into fighting him. So yeah, there's that. At number 6, Milton Bradley. The Milton Bradley Company has brought countless joy into the living rooms of families with their board game creations. But the Milton Bradley baseball player has always had a temper in the majors, and it held back any potential on the field that he actually had. Before he retired, Bradley was arrested for domestic violence and threatening his wife. In 2013, when he was retired, he was sentenced to prison for 32 months for attacking and threatening his wife. Tragically, she would die just months later. At number 5, Willie AIKENS. AIKENS' MLB career lasted from 1977 to 1985 as he batted .271 and smashed 110 home runs. Though he was one of the top hitters of the 70s and 80s, his career was ruined once he developed a tragic cocaine addiction. AIKENS was sentenced to 20 years and 8 months in prison for selling crack cocaine to cops who were undercover. In the 90s, an undercover cop posed as a cocaine crack buyer, did business with AIKENS, who showed her his home and how he made it all. AIKENS would be sentenced to 15 years plus 8 months in prison for the drug charges, plus 5 more years for having a loaded gun in the drug room. However, this story has a happy ending, as he apologized for his mistakes, spoke to schools about his life, and was hired by the Kansas City Royals as a minor league coach. At number 4, Curt Schilling. Schilling won 216 games, was a 6-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champion, and struck out 3,116 batters during his career. With so much money earned in his career, Schilling founded the video game company 38 Studios. The state of Rhode Island granted the company a loan of $75 million, but Schilling couldn't pay it back and had problems finding the right staff. He lost essentially the whole $50 million fortune he got to retire with. All that from one idea that was supposed to make him way more cash. At number 3, Darryl Strawberry. 335 homers, 1,000 RBIs, 8 All-Star games, and 4 World Series rings. Strawberry accomplished a lot during his career, but it was another story when he retired. Strawberry, who had run-ins with the law during his career, couldn't escape those problems. He was arrested in 2000 for hitting another vehicle while passing out from taking painkillers. He tried to get away from the scene but was arrested at gunpoint. He eventually received probation but broke it and went to prison for 40 days. He'd be arrested another time for breaking house arrest. Strawberry spent 11 months in prison for breaking rules at a treatment center for his drug abuse, and in 2005 he avoided jail time despite lying to police about having his SUV stolen. At number 2, Brian Taylor. Taylor spent the bulk of his MLB career in the Yankees farm system, but legal troubles prevented him from making it to the big leagues. Taylor missed a court date after leaving his 4 children, all under 11, at home alone for 8 hours. There were 4 arrest warrants. In 2012, he was sentenced to 38 months in prison for cocaine trafficking and was released in 2014. Here's hoping he has a grand slam of a turnaround. At number 1, Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra is an icon to the New York Mets and Philadelphia Phillies franchises. He was a key part of the Mets' 1986 World Series championship team and the Phillies' 1993 National League championship squad. Sadly, everything fell apart after his career was over. His net worth was reportedly $58 million in 2008, but a couple business ideas faltered and he lost that right away. He lost his $17.5 million house, which was foreclosed. He had a debt of $31 million and had to sell off his memorabilia as he lived in his car in hotel lobbies. Dykstra was arrested for trying to buy a stolen car and later went to court for bankruptcy frauds, false statements, embezzlement, and obstruction of justice. Dykstra was also twice accused of sexual harassment and for exposing himself after he posted a Craigslist ad for a personal housekeeper and flashed them when they showed up to meet him. Dykstra faced 80 years in prison but only received a 6.5-month sentence and has since been released. He's on the track to fixing his life while he remains on probation. Here's hoping all works out for him. Which athlete do you think had it worst after retiring? Join us in the comments below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to Total Pro Sports, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.